Hello and welcome. My name is Bennett Tchaikovsky, and I'm here to talk about how Irvine Valley College can assist you in meeting the educational requirements to become a licensed California certified public accountant. This presentation was made October 23rd, 2018. So is disclaimers, and this is very, very important. This video is for informational purposes only and represents the opinion of the author only. No representations are made whatsoever on behalf of Irvine Valley College and or the South Orange County Community College District. The California State Board of Accountancy makes all final determinations as to whether or not a course meets the educational requirements. Therefore, the information contained in this video is to assist you only in determining what you need in order to become a licensed CPA. And let me just be really clear about this. The California Board of Accountancy has the final say in terms of any and all classes meeting the requirements for the educational requirements. And if a school, and I've seen four-year schools do this, if they are saying that it does without using the disclaimers, they're doing you a huge disservice. I want to encourage all students from all schools to do a mapping that I'm going to be showing a little bit later for your particular school, just because it can really help out other CPA candidates. So let's take a look at the general requirements to become a licensed CPA in California. You need a bachelor's degree plus 30 units. You'll need a year of work experience under an actively licensed California certified public accountant. You will need to pass the uniform CPA exam, and you will also need to pass the professional ethics exam for CPAs, and this is sometimes known as the PETH. And the focus on this presentation is meeting the educational requirements for California. Really important, some states have different requirements in terms of what classes will actually go through and count. But let's take a look first here at the educational requirement to become licensed. Again, there's two requirements. One is to sit for the CPA exam. The other is to become licensed as a certified public accountant. To meet the educational requirement, you'll need a bachelor's degree, which is 120 semester units, and 30 semester units for a total of 150 semester units. The unit requirements are very specific. I call each of these areas by a group name, and when I show you the Board of Accountancy listing shortly, you'll understand kind of why I do it. So here I've got 24 units for accounting subjects, 24 units for business subjects, 20 units for accounting study, and 10 units for ethics study. So that 150 semester units, I need at least 78 units in these different accounting areas. And just as a reminder, if you took a class at a university such as UC Santa Barbara, which is on the quarter unit system, you'll have to convert those units into semester units. So the educational requirement to sit for the CPA exam is a little bit different. The first one I went over is to become licensed as a certified public accountant. To actually sit for the exam, you don't need that much. You need a bachelor's degree, which is 120 semester units, and then you need 24 units of accounting subjects and 24 units of business subjects. Now, what about the other 30 semester units in the accounting study and the ethics study? Most employers, when you're speaking with them, they're going to ask you a few different questions. One question will be, is if you're in your undergraduate year, is of course going to be, what is your accounting GPA? What is your overall GPA? But more importantly, they're going to ask you, when are you going to be done with the 150 semester unit requirement? And you're going to need to be able to say, well, I'm going to be done with that by May of 2021, and whatever that date might be. And the reason why is that when most CPA firms have you start, They want you to be completely finished with all of your educational requirements. I had a student of mine in the summer of 2017 come up to me and said, "Hey, Tchaikovsky, I need to take your ethics class this summer." And I said, "Well, what's up?" And he said, "Well, if I don't, I can't start at my Big Four job." I said, "Okay, no problem. Let me make that exception for you." So again, the requirement for licensure is different than the requirement to sit for the exam. One little side note here, when it comes to passing the CPA exam, you need to take a CPA review course. There are many out there: Rogers CPA Review, Becker CPA Review, Wiley CPA Review, Surgent, Gleim. I'm probably leaving some out. However, you want to make sure you take a review course. Very, very important. So, other considerations, and this is really relating to the educational requirement. The California Board of Accountancy will not pre-approve any courses. And this goes back to my point earlier. If a school is listing out courses that guarantee approval, this is really, you want to run for the hills. The California Board of Accountancy accepts courses from accredited institutions. This also includes accredited community colleges. So when it comes to units, I've had students who took 60 units at IBC, they transfer to Cal State Fullerton, they take another 60 units, they come back to Irvine Valley College and take another 30 units. Is that acceptable? Sure, it's 150 total semester units. There is no requirement for a master's of accountancy or basically a master's in accounting or in tax. That's fully optional. This is, remember, we're not talking about what may be best for your professional career. We're talking about the educational requirements to become a licensed certified public accountant. So the bachelor's degree that you have can be in any area. I could be film studies, I could be biology, I could be math, I could be political science, I could be anthropology, sociology. It doesn't matter. What matters is, do you have those 78 units in those different areas that are required by the California Board of Accountancy in order to become a licensed certified public accountant? And over here, will the CBA accept courses from an international institution? The answer is yes. However, that degree must be translated by an agency that is approved by the California Board of Accountancy. And on my faculty website, which I will show you momentarily, you will be able to go out and see where that listing can be found. Also, too, the California Board of Accountancy will accept classes pass, no pass. So this is something you're going to want to check with your particular undergraduate school. If I'm at Cal State Fullerton and I'm an accounting major and I'm taking intermediate accounting on a pass, no pass basis, probably won't fly. However, if I take other classes on a pass, no pass basis, they'll accept it. Many of my students who take me for accounting ethics will take the class pass, no pass. And they'll take other accounting classes at Irvine Valley College, pass, no pass, because mainly they want to get the education, but may not want to necessarily stress out about receiving a particular grade. So let's go back here. Some other considerations continued. One of them is, can I repeat the same class at a different university? And that answer is yes. I have several of my students who will take me for intermediate accounting prior to transfer, and then they will retake intermediate accounting at their subsequent school. Is this accepted by the Board of Accountancy? And the answer is yes. Is it kind of insane to take intermediate accounting twice? Sure, but a lot of students, before they transfer to that four-year school, want to get a leg up in terms of the requirements. Also here too, and this is a very important point, there's a difference between the educational requirement versus the CPA exam preparation versus preparing you to become an accountant. And what I mean by this is you can take some very easy accounting classes throughout the state of California, your school, whatever else it might be. However, that's not really going to help you. It's going to help you meet the educational requirement to become licensed in California, but that's not going to be preparing you to become a basic in your profession. My advice to all of my students, and I've written about this in a blog on the Rogers CPA Review website, is that I would recommend you take the most challenging courses possible from the best teachers possible. And that's really what you want to do. You want to get the best education. And if you take hard classes from challenging and fair instructors, you're really going to be not only best preparing yourself essentially for your work as an accountant, but you're also going to be giving yourself good CPA exam preparation. As an instructor, I mainly use problem-based and essay-type questions. I don't use multiple choice. So I might be doing my students somewhat of a disservice in terms of preparing them directly for the CPA exam. But really, when I've talked to employers, they really want the students to be able to solve problems. And that's really what I've tried to go through and do when I'm going through and doing my testing. The other part here is for CPA exam preparation, you need to take a CPA review course. Accounting classes are not directly designed to help you pass the CPA exam. The CPA exam is the CPA exam, which is the CPA exam. You need to take a review course. You need to study for that test. It is extremely important, and I will let somebody else handle that. Some other educational considerations. If you do not take a course that has, say for example, I don't take a course on governmental accounting, which is usually covered in advanced accounting. If I don't take it, what's going to happen to me? Do I, frizzle up in this? No. What it means is that I need to study that one particular area that much more during the CPA review. However, it's something that you can learn during the CPA review. Most of the CPA review courses kind of assume that maybe not everybody can, say, take the advanced accounting classes. What else can count in terms of the courses? There's something called CLEP, which are college level examination program, and advanced placement courses. And if these courses are done at the high school level and they show up on your college transcript, they will be accepted towards the 150 semester unit requirement by the California Board of Accountancy. What about 100% online courses or partially online courses? As long as it's done through an accredited university, you're fine. Board of Accountancy doesn't really look at the difference between online, hybrid, and in class. As schools, all of us who have gone through accreditation know that it doesn't really matter what the methodology is. A course is a course is a course. Now, for an employer, this may be different. When I'm talking to employers and when I'm recommending students essentially to, for employment, which I will do, I kind of am talking with those employers and saying, hey, look, Mary did very, very well in her in-person exams. I tested her very, very thoroughly. She took 5 2-hour exams. She took a 2.5-hour final exam. I know she knows the material. I've also observed Mary in class, very pleasant. She was clearly prepared for class. She arrived early and she was ready to go. And that's something that you really can't say about an online student. So again, it's something to consider. The first thing we're going to do in terms of determining our educational requirement is that you want to gather all of your transcripts. So if you've been at 10 different community colleges, let's get all those together. And what we're going to do is we're going to list out all of these classes on a Excel sheet or a Google sheet. Also, it's really important to remember, I was helping a student do this the other day, and she had been at IBC and then she went to Cal State Fullerton. And when Cal State Fullerton takes over the units, they kind of substitute other classes or the equivalents at that school. And so when you're looking at the transcript, make sure you're not double counting. Make sure you're showing exclusively what you've been taking at each one of the schools. What we're then going to do is, once we have this list, is we're then going to place them into the applicable various areas, which I will show you momentarily, and we're going to walk through the mapping. So the place we want to go to first is, how do we get to this mapping and what exactly is it? Well, what we want to do is to walk through this mapping. What I want you to do is find my faculty website, and we're going to do that right here. And the directions here are down below. I'm going to start at ivc.edu. I'm going to go under faculty and staff in that upper right corner. I'm going to faculty websites. I'm going to look up T for Tchaikovsky, and then I'm going to find me. So here, I'm going to go to faculty and staff. And once I get to faculty and staff, I'm going to go to faculty websites. And once I'm at faculty websites, I'm going to go to T for Tchaikovsky. And here I go, Bennett Tchaikovsky, that's me. I'm not related to Mike Wazowski, but I am Bennett Tchaikovsky. So when we go to my faculty website, which we can find right here, is that if I go towards the bottom of this website, and there's a lot of information, lots of articles, lots of great stuff, treasures, unbelievable. I'm going to find this page here called Requirements for CPA Licensure Classes A. When I click on that, that is going to take me here to this document. And this is going to walk you a little bit more thoroughly in detail about what you need to go through and do. And so right here, what we're going to find is, boom, this is the list. And this is what I was referring to as group A, B, C, and D. And so the first step we're going to take is we're going to create a document that lists out all of the classes we have taken to date. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put those classes into these various different categories. It's either going to be here, I've got accounting subjects, which I'm calling group A, and then I've got here business related subjects, this is group B, accounting study, this is group C, and then I have ethics study, which is group D. And as you'll notice within each one of these descriptions here, they go into much greater detail in terms of what they're looking for in terms of classes. And notice here in 24 semester units of accounting subjects, right here, this is all the accounting subjects. So what do I have to do? Well, there's 24 semester units of accounting subjects, 24 semester units of business related subjects. And what happens is when we get down to this next category, and remember, these first two here is what you need with a bachelor's degree is what you need to do to sit for the CPA license, to sit for the CPA exam. Now, when it comes here, is that when you get over here to 50 semester units of accounting, 20 semester units of accounting study, this is where we're saying, all right, what's part of this? A minimum of 6 units from the accounting subjects above. So I'm going to need to take another 6 units from this area here. And then there's other areas. I can take 14 from business related subjects, or if I've taken some other classes here. Now notice, if I've taken a master's of accounting, taxation, or laws and taxation, is equivalent to 20 semester units of accounting study. And then I come down here and I see 10 semester units of ethics study. And what's really important here is that you need to take a ethics class, specifically accounting ethics or accountants' professional responsibilities. And this is a class that can be completed at an upper division level or higher, unless it was completed at a community college. And so you can take this as well as a lot of other classes at Irvine Valley College or other area community colleges, but IVC is the best. So I just have to say that. #1 transfer rate, we're awesome. Students are amazing. Okay, I'm not being paid to say that. So right here, in terms of ethics study, I see this, maximum of 7 or 11 quarter units in these different areas. So again, when I'm going through and looking at this right here is what I'm being required ultimately to do. So what I'm going to try to do here is I want to go through and figure out from the classes I've taken in terms of what do I need to do in terms of, how do I map these courses over? So now I've gone back over here to my website, and on my faculty website, remember how I got there? I went to ivc.edu. I went to faculty and staff right up here. I clicked on faculty websites, and I came over to here. Now, when you go through here, about in the 3rd paragraph down, you'll see this right here where it says, quote unquote, sample mapping. When you click on this sheet, where this is going to take you is to an example of a student who has taken all of the courses that they've taken and essentially creating a map into the various different group areas. So what I'm going to do right here for you is, this is the same example. I've put this on. So I have this right here. I've got group A, accounting subjects, group B, business related subjects. Those both require 24 semester units. I have accounting study, and then I have over here at the very bottom, I have group D. And let's just move that up really quickly up here to the top. Perfect. So this is ethics study. Okay, so this is going to be 10 units. Accounting study, 20 units. Okay. So what I'm going to do now is I have all of my classes that I've taken to date listed out here. So when I look at this sample student, I'm going to go ahead, I'm looking at accounting 1A and 1B, which happen to be financial and managerial accounting. I'm going to put these here into my group A, which are accounting subjects. And again, how do I know it's an accounting subject? Because right here under accounting subjects, the classes include accounting, financial reporting, auditing, financial statement analysis, taxation, etc. And if I forget there, I can go look over here on the sheet in terms of what is in group A. So I come over here to group A, I've got those 2 classes. Now, really important, once I assign a class to a particular group, I can no longer use it for a later group. Once it's there in the group, can't use it anyplace else. So here, when I go to business related subjects, and when I look over at what is a business related subject, you will see all these different items here on the sheet. So I'm going to go here and look at algebra, business management, computer science, math 3A, 3B, statistics, economics, intro to business. So all of these classes right here will help me towards my business related subjects. So I've put those classes into business related subjects. Now, obviously I've gone through and organized my classes from before, but that's really what I'm going through and doing. I would then go through and look at other classes. I've got world religion, legal environment of business. I would look later and see where these go. But let's take a look at group B first. So with group B, I have a total number of units here from everything I've done while I was at IVC and University X. Here is going to be a total of 37 units. Now, I only need 24 units. So what's going to happen here? Well, what's going to happen is I'm over by my required units for this particular area are 24. So I'm over here by 13 units. So what I'm going to do, because I'm over by 13 units, I can move these 13 units down to group C, which is in accounting study. And I'll put it right here just for a moment. You see my Excel skills are absolutely amazing. By the way, Irvine Valley College offers amazing Excel classes. We do a lot of things really, really well, and that is one of them. So right over here, I've got my group C, so my accounting study of 20 semester units. Now remember, I can use here per the guidelines, so I can maximum 14 semester units from the business related subjects above. So again, this is giving you an example in terms of how to go through and figure it out. What I'm going to do then after I've done my mapping, and I'm not going to do these right now, but what I'm going to say to myself is, okay, now I need to have, I've got 8 units here. How many more do I need? Well, I've got 8, I need 24, so I need another 16 units. Okay, so where am I going to go get that from? And that's where Irvine Valley College can assist you in terms of figuring out how to fill in these various different gaps. One of the things we've done, and this is going back to my requirements for CPA licensure, if you look in the back, there is a mapping, meaning I've listed out different courses that you can take at Irvine Valley College, and you can see where they fall in the requirements. So right here, if I'm taking Management 1 or Math 10, or if I'm taking Econ 20, these won't count as business subjects. Over here, foreign languages, industry-based courses, skills-based courses, these all fall into the different areas. And then over here with accounting ethics, I've got my basic accounting 220 or accounting ethics, plus the other units. So again, those are over here. Let's go back over to our presentation. So we've gathered all of our transcripts and we've done our mapping. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about Irvine Valley College, and let's talk a little bit about how our numbering system works. So at IVC, when you see an accounting 1A or an accounting 1B, what does that mean? What does that number 1 mean? It means we have the number 1 transfer rate in California. It does mean that, but no, it really means that the class will transfer to a UC or a Cal State, and it will meet the California Board of Accountancy educational requirement. If a course is numbered 100 to 199, it generally will transfer to a California State University. It will also meet the California Board of Accountancy educational requirement. And if it's number 200 plus, it's really meant to meet the California Board of Accountancy educational requirement only and will not transfer. To be very clear, when you are taking classes at any community college, and if you want to go to a certain school, the earlier you go in and you figure out, oh, does this class transfer to USC? Does this class transfer over here? Whatever that might be, the earlier I do that, the better off I will be. Just taking a look here at Irvine Valley College. And I've kind of broken down our offerings into what I call advanced courses, or those courses that have a prerequisite, versus the courses that do not have accounting prerequisites. And what's also, before I go through any of this, we're able to offer these classes because of our students. Because of our students, we're able to offer these classes, and I cannot thank our students enough for their support over the years, for helping us having this kind of offering. If we don't have enough students in a class, that class is not going to be offered. So thank you for your ongoing and continued support. So right here for Accounting 1A and Accounting 1B, that's Financial and Managerial Accounting. These are lower division transfer courses, generally offered at IVC, fall, spring, and summer. Accounting 202A is Intermediate Accounting 1. And this is generally offered in fall. 202B is offered in spring, which is Intermediate Accounting 2. And when you're looking at Accounting 202A and 202B, these are really, it's kind of, you're taking that Accounting 1A class and putting it on steroids. meaning that we're really looking much more into depth into the various different concepts. Accounting 203 is really an expansion of Accounting 1B. Accounting 206 and Accounting 207 are both tax courses. All of our classes here are generally taught by certified public accountants. And for example, our individual income tax class is taught by Ed Bino, and he is a partner at a tax firm and also a CPA here in Orange County. Candy Huey is a tax partner and teaches business income tax for us. Accounting ethics is taught by myself, and we're offering that fall, spring, and summer. And Dee Bowden, who is a partner at White Nelson D11s, teaches auditing for us in the spring. We also have other class offerings in Accounting 209, which is internal controls under SOX, that's being offered this spring of 2019. And we also have Accounting 210, Accounting for Business Combinations. Now, other classes that we have at IBC that will help you gain some basic skills. But what's really important to note about these classes is these classes are designed to meet they will meet the California Board of Accountancy accounting requirements for the Group A and by inference Group C. But these classes have no accounting prerequisite, excuse me. So right here, Accounting 204, Accounting 205, and 215, or QuickBooks, Payroll Accounting and Taxation, Bookkeeping and General Accounting, these are classes that have no accounting prerequisite. So the instructors who teach these classes have to do it in a little bit of a different way, mainly that they kind of have to assume that you've never had an accounting class before. So you may find the level of intensity a little bit less than our other offerings here, which all have accounting, prerequisites. Here, for the ones down here that I'm listing is strongly recommend. The reason why is I have heard from endless recruiters that Excel skills are very important. You need to take Microsoft Excel classes. We offer them here at Irvine Valley College. And again, I want to strongly recommend to you that you take these classes, Spreadsheets 1, 2, and 3. Very, very important for entering the workplace. In fact, they are so important. I was having a coffee with a recruiter. I asked her, I said, hey, how do I make my teaching accounting better to make your employees better? And she said, that's not going to help. They need to know Excel. So you need to take Excel. So that concludes our presentation for today. If you have any questions, please feel free to contact me via email. My email can be found on my faculty website. I really want to encourage you to go to that website and go through and review any of the articles. And as always, I appreciate your feedback and I appreciate your support of us here at Irvine Valley College. Thank you so much for today.